Hashtag VanLife. I'm putting it up there on the screen. So what's VanLife? Well, VanLife is basically you living out of a van. That's what VanLife is. It's life in a van. What I've done is I've spent every last penny that I owned, which was $2,700, and I bought a used 2011 Ford Transit cargo van, which I will convert into a living, working space so that I can do what I'm about to talk about. 5 very specific projects that I think work really well within the YouTube environment. And if anybody wants to sponsor that, great. If not, great. All right, so what are the projects that I want to go do? Very quickly, Amelia stories. 2 is real stories. 3 is a van build in 10 parts. And then vlog van life stories. And last but not least are mile stories. So I'll just quickly go over what those are.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 5 video projects and all the videos that are attached to them, place them all on YouTube, and one by one, you're going to like them, you're going to subscribe to them, you're going to watch them over and over and over and over again, racking up the watch time. Thereby, what will happen is they'll get monetized, and I know, I can't even wrap my mind around this. Once the videos are monetized, I should be able to, say it with me, survive from the ad revenue. I know, the realm of the hard to believe. I can't even wrap my mind around it. It's just such a distant whatever. Anyways, that's the plan. There you go. Now back to the video.
Amelia stories. Amelia Bold, or Amelia Harris, was my grandmother. When I was 20, I went to go live with her. I was deathly afraid of living with her. She is an imposing figure in my life. And to make a very long story short, my grandfather died on my 25th birthday, or before that happened and right after that happened. I would spend about an hour or 2 every single day with them, watching soap operas with them, and try to tease out from them what my family history was, because I was sorely mistaken about what that family history was. One of the really interesting stories about this is how my grandparents met. My grandfather was on the Arizona, on the USS Arizona when she was struck. He ran up on deck to see what was going on. He was a cook, and he essentially tried to do some fire control, jumped overboard as the Arizona was sinking, and the man does not swim at all, nearly drowned, got to shore and passed out. About 4 days later, came to, and the Navy, in its largesse, handed him one of 2 options. You have the choice of any posting in the world, or we can honorably discharge you. He chose the honorable discharge, and about 4 months later showed up in Chelsea Naval Station, which was in Boston at that point in time, and made a beeline for the Negro USO Club. Lord knows where that was. I think it was in Roxbury at that point. And then walked into the club and took one look at the woman standing across from him and lost his damn mind, and that was my grandmother. The way that she tells this story is that she saw this guy staring at her and asked him, "Boy, what are you looking at?" And without missing a beat, he said, "The woman I'm going to marry." And she laughed at him, and a year later, she ended up marrying him. And that story is, in a nutshell, the story that I want to go tell. I thought about writing a book about it. Who reads these days? Nobody! So telling it on video is much easier, and I'm in a much more structured way than I'm talking about it right now. This is just the thumbnail version of that story, but I think it's a really cool story. All right, so that's just a thumbnail of the first project. The second project is real life stories. These are bits of history and storytelling that I absolutely love. So here's a good one, and this might be a little too long for you to go into, but did you know that Michelle Obama is let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations removed from a slave that was brought over from West Africa, who in her hometown, now there is an obelisk showing the lineage from her to Michelle Obama. I want to go look at go research the lineage, and then go look at that obelisk and video the entire process of how that happened. Here's another one. On September 11th, 2001, when the United States was attacked by Al-Qaeda, what happened was American airspace was closed. And as that happened, any flight that was attempting to land in the United States was waved off, and they were pointed back to their point of origin, or to any country that was close by, either Canada or Mexico. And one of the planes that get diverted to Canada has an interesting story attached to it. They essentially sat on the tarmac for 48 hours, not knowing what had happened and not hearing what had happened. And eventually, when they finally did hear what happened, they were processed by Canada and then eventually put on planes and sent back to wherever they came from. But those people stayed in touch with one another, and essentially what came out of that was a multi-million-dollar fund for college education. And to make a long story short, I want to go track down that story and tell the story that I think has probably only been told once or twice by news reporters, and essentially has been lost to history. But I like that story. Because it's such a powerful, uplifting story. And in this day and age, we need all the powerful, uplifting stories we can get. So I want to tell stories like that. I like history and I like telling stories, and I like doing it in this format. I'm really good at it, or at least I think I am. So I want to go do that. Next on the list is Miles' stories. I have been told multiple times that A, I'm a good storyteller, and B, more importantly, I have an interesting life. I don't think so, but some people do. One of those stories is the 3 times, now the 3rd time, that I will have gone to live in a car for a purpose. This purpose is to go do van life. The 2nd time was to go learn Argentine tango, and the 1st time is because I had no place else to go when I was 16 years old. So those moments have formed the person that's in front of you, and I want to go talk about them. The next item on this list is vlog van life, and that's basically how I am going to live in a van, basically. My day-to-day existence, where I am, what I'm doing, what trials and tribulations are going on, or what exaltations are happening, what's going on, and telling that, the day-to-day. So instead of saying, Miles, where are you? Now you can go look at it. And last but not least is a van build series, meaning that if you're going to do van life, then you should probably document your van build. What does it mean? It means that I'm going to show you the intricacies of the putting the van together. That means the flooring, the framing, the insulation, the appliances, the setup of the van, and how that all comes together. It's going to be a 10 or 12-part series that I'm going to place on YouTube for you to see. So all of this stuff will be on my Van Life YouTube channel and one other channel, my stories channel, that I'll put up online. All right, so that is the plan that I have in mind. So I'm going to transition from Argentine tango into van life in a few short days. After I finish shooting here with Miss Leah, I will, transition into Missouri. I'm here in El Paso. The van that I purchased for the cool sum of $2,700, and that is all the money that I had in the world, I will then go and start that van build process and what that will actually look like. And then I will video the whole thing so you can actually see that. All right, so here's a nasty topic that I really don't want to talk about, but I have to talk about it because it's all part of the equation. That little toy right there, and the toy I have in my pocket, and the camera that I have are all of my worldly possessions at this point. I'm going to have to sell that one and this one and hope that I can hold on to the camera that's shooting this so that I can do the van project that I want to do. That's a sacrifice that I am willing to make because I believe in the process, because I know that I can do what I can do. However, it would make things a lot easier if I didn't have to sell that's about $2,000. This will get me about $800. I really don't want to sell either one of them because it will help me to make the videos that you're seeing right now. Without either one of them in the equation, it will make things very difficult. So I really don't want to sell these. I don't want to sell the item that's in my pocket, and I don't want to sell the camera, but that's what may end up happening. And if that happens, then nobody's going to see a damn thing, and I'm going to end up selling the van for whatever I can get for it, and then try to live off of that money. But what this boils down to is Mr. Miles is broke. I got no money at this point. I spent all of that money on the van knowing that I didn't have any more money coming in and that I got nothing after this. And the whole reason why I did it is not because of the projects that I want to go do. The whole reason why I did it is because I can't afford, I can't stay here for the rest of my life. I don't have a home. I gave up my apartment in Boston, and then I moved to New York, and I didn't have a place to stay. So I gave up that. And when I got here to El Paso during the pandemic, or as the pandemic struck, I basically had no place to go, and I had no money. So through the largesse of certain students, they helped me. They've essentially, this is the last of that little bit of money that I've had that I've essentially cobbled together to essentially give me a place to live, and that's the van, the 2011 Ford Transit Connect that I just bought, so that I have some place to live and some place to go to. But if this project doesn't happen, then I'm gonna have to turn around and sell the van, because I have to sell this and have to sell this in order to make the project happen, and I really don't want to go do that. So I would rather do something positive in this world instead of bitching about it, instead of complaining. Why? I don't want to be on my deathbed saying, I wish I could, I wish I don't want to do that. I want to do something positive in this world. And Tango's been really lovely. I've been helping a small sliver of the Tango universe. At least I think I've been helping people to be better dancers, but I know that I can do more. And if I tell uplifting stories, I can help more people. I can show them that there is not so much nastiness in this world, but there's good in this world. So help me out with that. You could say, Miles, why not just go get a job if you're broke? Well, yeah, I could, but all of the skills that I was trained to do, they've all atrophied. I've spent the better portion of the last 15 years teaching tango or learning to dance tango. And if you know anything about tango, it consumes your every waking moment. So much so that I couldn't do anything else except tango. And now that, with the pandemic happening, and because I was transitioning out anyways, it's just that they coincided with each other. I have space to do other things, and this is the perfect opportunity to leave tango the way that I want to leave tango and transition into something else. So getting a job at this point is pretty much off the table. And besides, I'm 57 years old, I think. 57, 58, somewhere in there. Who's going to hire me? Even though I'm a software developer, I've let those skills atrophy. I can barely code at this point, but I code because if I sit there and I stare at the screen for like 10 hours, I might be able to put 2 lines of code together. But asking me to code for anybody else, nobody's going to hire me for that. It's just not going to happen. So I know what I can do at this point, and I'm really good at it, and it's this. So making videos and telling stories. So having said that, I'd like to go tell stories. It's that simple. And if you'd like to help out, here's how you can help out. There are 5 ways in which you can do that. You can contribute to my Patreon page. $3, $5, $10, whatever you can afford, great, do that. Trust me, it will go a long way to make things a little bit easier. Next on the list, an Amazon wish list. So what you're seeing on the screen is that cute little Amazon wish list. If you can buy any one of those things and then send it to me, great. Do that. I will be infinitely grateful. I mean that, seriously. I'm not being facetious when I say that. I'm wholehearted. Trust me. If something off that list ends up on my doorstep, oh my God, it will make things so much easier. Oh my God, please, yes. I need a fridge. I need a composting toilet. I need an induction stove. I need a solar power pack. I need a converter inverter. There's so many things on that list. I just can't afford them all. So I would rather not do this by hook or crook, but if anything on that list ends up in my doorstep, oh my God, yay, thrilled. Okay, so the next item on this list is, if that's too much for you, is a direct PayPal Venmo payment. Yay, oh my God, $10, $20, $50, $100, it does not matter. Whatever you can afford, great, do that. Oh my God, you'll just be making my life a little bit easier so I can breathe a little bit easier and sleep a little bit at night so that I don't have to struggle so much. I'm tired of struggling with this stuff. I want to go put good in this world, and unfortunately, it requires a little bit of doodah, a little bit of a little bit of cash. And I can't do it on my own. I'm tired of doing this on a shoestring budget. I'm tired of begging for money. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing here. I don't want to do this. I just want to go do. Help! I need help! All right. Next on this list, remember I said that there was a little asterisk? Well, here's the asterisk. So at 12:01, TangoTopix will go offline and all the videos and all the content will disappear. At 12:02, it will get moved to a Google Drive space. And for the next year, you will have access, if you want it, to the entire TangoTopix video library and or the entire TangoTopix video website. What that means is that I will put into a PDF format and all the videos and put it all into a Google Drive space for you to access, all for one of two prices. One, all the videos, just the videos, all 500 of them for $12.99, or the entire website and all the videos for $24.99. All of that, all of soup to nuts. So, having said that, if you want to purchase that, you'd have access to it for 1 year to download everything that's there. At the end of that year, the site, the Google Drive space will go offline. It will all get disappeared into a deep, dark, nasty hole, and it will never see the light of day ever again. Which brings me to the very last item, item number 5. If you like this stuff, you'd like to help out, and you feel like you don't want to get barraged for money, or give me money. I totally understand that. Times is hard. I get it. What you can do is hit the like button and the subscribe button, and keep liking and subscribing and sharing, and we'll meet down the road. All right.
Hi, Future Miles here. Well, that pretty much wraps up the video. I mean, there's not much else to say other than the shameless plug, which is if you can support the channel, great. Please do that. If you can't support financially, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and remember to hit the notifications bell, as it will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and you'll get notified of new content when I upload it. Other than that, have yourself a lovely day, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere on the road. Bye.